Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 23rd of September. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some from what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and is published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, let's have a look at equities. Now we've got a series of bearish days this week, and yesterday was one of the most bearish, and today is the other one which is the most bearish. And yesterday we saw absolutely nothing bearish happen. We saw basically another slow grind up. Is there any sign this is about to turn? Nope. We could get some sell signals on retest of the overnight highs. We could get one on ES. We could get one in NQ. We haven't got those yet. And even if we do get them, of course, there's no particular reason to think they're going to fix. We've still got a possible double top set up on RTY that looks quite nice. We've got possible nested double top on YM. The best looking trend line on the futures chart is on YM, and we're very close to it, so we'll see how that goes. But at the moment there's nothing that impressive happening, and that may continue to be the case. These stats are good and they often deliver, but they don't always deliver. All right, looking at DAX, we've got what looks like a possible bear flag forming from the low on ESTX. We didn't quite make it to the retest of the high, and I'm still wondering if we might make that, but we've got this nice looking rising megaphone. It's too large to be a flag, i.e. it dominates basically the whole of the preceding trend, but obviously it's a bearish pattern and it looks pretty good at the moment. All right, let's have a look at these on the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at the daily chart on ES, we lost the only RSI 5 sell signal that survived into yesterday was the one on ES, and we lost that yesterday. So we've currently got no negative divergence. We'd already lost it on SPX, which is getting up into nosebleed levels in the B90 area. Does this happen on a regular basis? Yes. We've seen levels that high here. That's 5 so far, 6, 7, 8. 8 instances previously where we reached the 90 level. But when we do reach the 90 level, we are generally pretty close to some retracement or consolidation, and we may well see that. We're also seeing on the hourly chart, best to see, I've got the obvious resistance trend line here, and we're actually getting pretty close to that. I was saying, well, we're up in about the 6700 area, and I reckon that's in about the 6720 area. We're now close enough that we could reach that, and that's a pretty decent looking resistance trend line, and I would be looking for resistance there if we do get there. Keys, obviously, we've gone up. We're over 90 already. We're now reaching the stage where we could set up a possible daily RSI 14 sell signal as well. In terms of the trend lines here, I've got this trend line here currently in the 607 area, and we're now up at about, I think yesterday's high was at 602.87. Again, that's starting to look as though it's in range. And again, it's a very nice resistance trend line, and I'd be looking for resistance there. We might not get it, but I'd be looking for it there. In terms of the diode chart, we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. This, I have to say, Dire and IWM have both actually been ploughing a separate furrow a lot of the time to the others. So Dire, nice looking setup here. We've still got a potential level top setup. No current negative divergence worth the mention. And on the 15-minute chart, this is the rising wedge from the August low, and that's looking very nice. We will see. It was looking pretty nice yesterday. It's still looking pretty nice today. Let's have a look at IWM. And over there a moment. Okay, on the daily chart, we've got weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed. It's quite an old one, and it's on the verge of failing. And we had an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and that failed too. We had made it to the IHS target, which was the retest of this high here in November 24. So we've made a new all-time high here, but currently no negative divergence on the daily chart. On the hourly chart, we're retest yesterday's high, and we're pretty close to, or the day before actually, maybe. And we could have an hourly sell signal brewing, but it's thin. There's not an awful lot saying here this is about to reverse. We are hitting some trend lines, but in terms of a setup, I mean, we've had some really good topping setups this year. We had an amazing one in February, which then played out. This isn't one of them. This is not really a topping setup at all. I was looking for the historical stats to maybe give us a few bearish days. At the moment, we're not seeing that, and we might not. We will see how it goes. All right, in terms of DAX, we're testing the daily middle band as resistance. I'm skeptical about it getting over that, but maybe. No current divergence. And Nikkei. Nikkei has reached the trend line I posted a couple of weeks ago, and I'm watching to see if we get any reversal there. If we can get a sell signal brewing, which we could, then that would be promising. But again, this, well, I don't know. I mean, there's a degree of correlation between SPX and Nikkei, actually, particularly over the last few months. So maybe that would tell us something, but really I'd be looking for that directly on the US indices, and we're not seeing that yet. All right, I'm doing a post on DX, likely published before the open tomorrow morning. I'll probably write it today. We're testing the monthly pivot as resistance here, and that's holding at the moment, but we are looking potentially at a pretty sizable low on US dollar. I'm thinking that we may well head up to 104 next, and possibly we might then see an extension up into a retest of the high so far for, well, I think the millennium, actually. So up in about the 115 area. I'm looking at ZB. ZB, we've seen a buy signal here that's got pretty close to the possible near miss target. We're not actually going up. I think this is a bullet bearish consolidation, and then we're going to set up and we're going to reach these double top targets down here. We'll see how that goes, but at the moment that's the way it looks. ZN, we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. We've been trickling down, and that has not fixed. CL, we saw a nice move down, seeing a bit of a bounce. Overall, I'm still really liking the odds of a move down to retest the low in the 56.5 area on CL. We will see how that goes. HO, nice decline, bit of a push up, but here we've got a nice rising megaphone which has broken down. We could just be forming an alternate support trend line here, but obviously we may well break down further, and it's not a bad setup to do that. Same again on RBOB, where we've got a rising megaphone which is again broken down. Looking at NG, we went down and retested the low here. If we were to set up a double bottom on the bigger picture chart, we'd need to go down about another 15 ticks. I'm wondering whether we will do that. We've got no positive, well, a tiny bit of positive divergence at the moment, but nothing really worth the mention. GC, we have gone higher, not unexpected, and we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, which I'm keeping an eye on. We've got the same on SI, where we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed and possible larger one brewing. We are continuing up. I have been mentioning the possibility that the next obvious big target on silver would be a retest of the all-time high at 49.51. It's possible we could go directly there. Palladium, I was wondering about a retest of this high. This head and shoulders here has now failed. And that means that we've now got a target back up at a retest of this high. Platinum, I was thinking we might see a retest of the high, and we've now seen it, and we're continuing higher. I would say this is at nosebleed levels in terms of the 60-minute RSI, and actually this is the highest that has been on this chart so far, although it only goes back 2 or 3 months, obviously. HG, still forming this eternal bear flag. I think sooner or later, I think this will result in a retest of the low here at 4.38, this low here, but as and when, well, it's lasted longer than I was expecting already. USD, not at a test on the monthly pivot, and I'm thinking that looks like the next obvious target if DX can pick itself up off the ground. Possible topping action on GBP. 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. USD/JPY has been rallying with the dollar. And really, I'm thinking with the dollar, we may go up a lot more. So I'm leaning bearish on USD, GBP, USD, Australian dollar, and NZ, and I'm leaning bullish modestly on USD/JPY and USD CAD. USD CAD up at the weekly pivot, but I'm thinking this is a possible head and shoulders forming. In fact, actually, we've broken down from it already, but I'm thinking we may reject straight directly back up to the high. We need to get back over this right shoulder high here in the 1.389 area, but if so, we'd head back up and retest these highs. Possibly set up a double top, possibly just continue higher. Australian dollar. Keeping an open mind, NZUSD, we've got a rising megaphone here, and that has broken down. On KC, KC, no current positive divergence, testing the monthly pivot. That's quite an important support level. If it breaks and converts that, this could just continue sliding down. SB, we've got a possible nested double bottom here. We've got a potentially very nice overall bullish setup here with basically a triple nested double bottom. Watching this with great interest to see if it delivers anything. CC could just be continuing the slide down. Possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. CT, leaning towards seeing a retest of the low. But we do have a 60-minute buy signal which is fixed. Lumber. Possible double bottom, 60-minute buy signal fixed. Nothing has been happening. It's just been trading sideways. It may well be this is just consolidating before the next move down. Bigger picture, I've got potentially a lot more downside coming. On ZW, ZW potentially a double bottom or reversal pattern here. We have a very nice bullish setup on wheat and corn. Soy is a different issue, as soy's got a lot of overcapacity worldwide. So I think wheat and corn, I'm looking at a nice looking low setup. 60-minute buy signal fixed. Nothing similar on corn, but again, on the bigger picture, this is a very nice reversal setup. And I'm thinking this could go up a lot. Short term, we've got a little double top which is broken down with with a target in the 412.5 area, and waiting to see if that will deliver. Looking at soy, we had a possible bull flag forming. It's broken down from it. Possible weak 60-minute buy signal brewing. ZL has gone lower. 60-minute buy signal has fixed. So looking for potentially a rally on both of those soys here. Live cattle, we looked like a bear flag forming, but we've broken up from it. I think the obvious next target is a retest of this high. Possible double top there, possible continuation higher. Lean hogs, we've got a very nice looking megaphone here that actually had pretty much fell on the October chart, but then magically reappeared on the December chart when I rolled into it. We've got a possible head and shoulders forming here, but if it goes any higher, then I'd be looking for a retest of this high. We shall see how that goes. All right, great. One thing I wanted to mention was, well, on crypto, I was talking about the retracement on crypto that I was leaning towards happening while we were seeing this retracement on equities. On crypto, we're actually seeing that retracement. It may not go much further, but it has happened without it. So it's just that equities isn't joining in. It might not. We shall see. The other very bearish day this week, we've got a more modestly bearish day on Thursday, and we've got another one next Tuesday. But the other very bearish day, this leaning day historically this week, is today. So watching with interest to see what happens. All right, everyone take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning.